Yeah, what?
It must be at the bottom of the wall, not the bottom of the box.
Okay.
Yeah.
Discovering our mission. What about getting into tight spaces? What about the social aspect? What about a multi-tool? What about something else? Yes! I like it. I'm not going to get my sets. Let's take it better. What? I can't see anything. Those currents were pulling me around too much.
And that's all part. To help maritime archaeologists get good, steady footage in the currents of our
We spoke to several people to get feedback on how we should change our robot. First, we spoke to an anthropologist. No solar panels on the top of the robot. Then we spoke to a Kangaroo Caves tour guide. Better lights and hydrodynamics. We then spoke to a maritime archaeologist.
stronger pumps and better cameras and more flaps.
That sounds fun. This is the current design.
That thing is one of the existing robots that is out there. It's the size of a small car. Then, probably the size of the I think it's bigger than this. Another water robot that exists. It's 5 meters long and weighs a ton.
So our robot is for photogrammetry. Photogrammetry is images, it says here, images that you use to, but takes a lot of photos and then you can see a 3D image of the place where you took all the photos, so you can see everything around. That's so cool.
Thank you for listening.
Your act is brilliant, right? It just needs small things to understand, like your projection. You understand? So we are watching. It's good. It's giving that vibe, but we don't follow because we can't hear exactly what is being said. You understand? In terms of exactly the presentation and all that stuff, right? Basically, I mean, we can hear the problem, right? But could have been nice if you were closer to your presentation, you understand, and take us step by step. Okay, you know, in your story we have an archaeology. Take us to a journey, and then the problem is what we want to hear. So the problem at that moment was not clear, you understand? So just try and make sure that your problem is clear, and as well as the solution. You did give us your solution, but we still missing more of it, exactly what your solution is made up of and what it's used in it to give us those 3D shapes, you understand? So if we can also dwell more on the technologies that are within your solution, you understand? Then, but in terms of your act, it's brilliant. But what you need to also keep in mind is the time that you are given, right? So that you don't prolong your act and then it chows your time in terms of when you were supposed to deliver, right? And you have given us this, right? And then we still were keen into understanding exactly what was, and the whole idea of this was explained to us or not. Yes, I see, I've tried, it's not working. Why? Maybe there was a silence or anything because we are seeing the stuff there, you understand? So you understand. So whatever you present, you must try to make sure that you explain it in detail so that it's understandable. But your presentation was like if the judges were sleeping, they would read now. You understand it was okay. But the whole important of it is to make sure that your message is being delivered in a right manner and it's well received.
With Sia's feedback, I think he's hitting the mark, but the presentation you guys gave at Glenwood was more in depth. Yes, I remember this was set to understand that you did explain that the purpose of this was to discover things on the ocean bed, right? And remember that's how the feedback came back, that the sand is going to clog up the jets, like I just gave you now. And what's the other one that I gave you? The other feedback? Or because that it's also designed to be the shape of a squid, or how is it protecting itself from its natural predators, which are great white sharks. They feed on squids. So those are the things that you guys have to look at in the presentation. I don't think it's unfair if I told you that you guys scored second in core values during the Glenwood thing. You guys were second. So the team that won was you guys scored second, close second actually, because of how your presentation went that time. Right now it looked a bit disorganized, but that just takes more practice, right? That just takes a bit more practice. But just add more information within that presentation, right? Yeah.
Like, so with that, we're going to add in how the pressure and balance works, and how it squeeze the bottle, it compresses the air and stuff. We just haven't gotten around to adding that information. We're just going to get all that information and then...
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. We need to keep it in mind. You've got time limit to your presentation, it's 5 minutes. So you rather make sure that you touch all those important pieces. You understand why we are still doing that. You understand? Like now, this is also part of your thinking and it on the robot, applying the pressure and all that stuff. You understand? So it could have been a nice experience if you have explained this and then you take it straight to the robot. You understand? But now we left us there and you understand.
But the last time I've seen you then presenting, I'm super impressed on myself. I think if you polish what you were doing, also work on your voice, making sure that you are clean enough. This is core values at the highest peak. Trust me. From what I've seen before, you guys were elevated. So you just want to polish that, make sure any feedback that they've given you make sure you polish that as well. But if you're going to go into what you just did, top notch. There's no second place. Trust me, core values, there's no second place. That was amazing.
Yeah. And then because you guys won't be available next week Saturday, as I heard, I'm going to challenge your coach to send us videos of this presentation so we can keep up with that.
Okay.
Just to see how they elevated from today, tomorrow.
Okay.
No, there is pressure, but I'm going to say no pressure. Because time is short, right? So you guys,
Yeah, and also I would like you guys, while you're working as a team, all those important stuff, try to pick someone that is much mature in order to make sure that he delivers those, important stuff that you really want the judges to hear and understand. no pressure and that, but at least it can be projected very nicely and loud, you understand? And it's not easily forgotten, you understand? So try, work as a team. Don't overload the young lady with important information that she might forget on the day. So try to give her the slightly information, you understand? I like what you did, you make an archaeology, you understand? But then you guys, you need to make sure that you present these, you understand? So that those bold information, so that then it's much more clarified to the judges, you understand? And you don't want to suppress it. You know, when there are judges, the pressure is very high, it's easy, it's not there, but sometimes the mistakes you just forget on the spot. You understand? So try to make sure that you protect her at all given point.
And then I'll tell you as well, what hindered the judges last time was because of there was no robot design that time. So I think that's where most of these marks impacted. So you guys could have actually scored a very high mark. You know? So coming close in second without the robot design means a lot. So now that you guys have added that now, or you're going to add it in?
Yeah, I wanted to say, since we've worked a lot more on the robot design and the animation speech currently, till now, we're going to work on the innovation speech a bit more now. We're on the road, working on the robot design.
Perfect. Meaning that you took the feedback from there, you've been working on it. That's
so
good.
Also on your presentation, you just bring both of your structures, like that one. We're missing the structure because it also forms part of your presentation as well. So that once you jump from this, you move from this, you go to your robot as well. And if you have it there, it's not easy for you to forget about it. Unlike if it's not with you, then you can proceed and then you can forget about it.
But correct me if I'm not wrong, it's a 5-minute presentation, then questions, and then another 5-minute presentation for this, right? So I think within the question and answers, then you guys can set up this and that, or you can interchange.
I would prefer they set up everything.
Everything, depending on the space. But I think probably they will have everything. You'll have everything, so you move from one section and you move to the other section. Yeah, no, I do understand. I do understand. But hence I was saying that the key points that I heard at Glenwood were not here today, but just keep polishing that, yeah.
Okay, can I give my comments on this? I have to echo what Pavli said about the change in you really since we saw you the first 2 times. It's night and day. It was like, I know I'm not wearing my glasses, but is it the same? Like, it was that I had to commend you on the improved confidence and aura from you ladies. You're so much more confident than what you were when you started. So that's actually well done. It's not easy to sort of let go of shyness and public speaking and just adapting to that, to put on a play, which is even braver. I think it's really impressive. And then I agree. I think I really like the idea of the play. It's different. I just think a lot of your information was lost, as Tim was now saying. You were more detailed at regional. I think you need to get back to that, because I was missing the before and after, which of the two is the final design that you settled on. So I think what would be nice is, I like how you demonstrated the size of the robots that they're currently using. Maybe it would be easier to follow if we have a narrator and the actors like side by side. So then that person is speaking and then the visual is there. And you switch a lot between actor and narrator, that's fine, but just make sure that the narrator isn't lost in the acting to the point where we can't hear what the person is saying. And then I think if you know it's your part, maybe break it down instead of sentence by sentence. How about section by section, where each person gets a chance to say something, and then those are my lines, instead of jumping between you guys that frequently, because I think you're going to forget when to speak. But if you know I'm the one responsible for the introduction, then you know these are my lines and you stick with them. Then the next person will explain how you came up with the idea. Then the next person will take us through your iteration, like what did it take to eventually land up with your final. Then the next person explains the technology and the next person maybe wraps up and concludes. I just think structure it that way and then separate, not too far, not social distance, but just enough so that we can see this person is speaking and this is what she's talking about visually. Yeah, that's my comment on that. Don't worry too much about your poster, you'll fix that. I just think it's important that your information does come across. It's really a unique way you're choosing to present. I don't think we fault that. I think we all agree it's good. It's just don't let the information get lost or missed out because you're worried that you are going to miss your cue to be a wave current. You get what I mean? So I think balance the acting and the delivery of the information because you don't want to create more questions for the judges when you know the information is there. So avoid getting asked unnecessary questions when they can ask you something that allows you to reiterate how novel and how impactful your innovation is. That's a better use of Q&A than what's that?
What did you mean?
Do you get what I mean? Yeah, but well done. There's a lot of effort that went into this. It's just let us sharpen the pencil a little bit more for the future. National. We're past it.
Okay, then the robot.
Yeah, we can jump on to robot design now.
Yes.
with the forklift. It took a bit to find one that worked and to get it working, but in the end we found one. But the first one that we found, this one, the gears kept slipping because they were pushing each other apart. So the next one we found, the gears were good, but it was a bit too inconsistent. So what we did next is we made and added a frame, and then it was much more consistent. But then, since we weren't in a classroom like most others, we made 2 bots and each coded at home. And then it was, yes. When we put the bots together before regionals, we tried with the code only worked on one robot and not the other. So that was a bit of a pain, but we got it to work. But we ended up doing a lot of coding at the national,
Regionals,
but then, so now we're here going to nationals. But at regionals, we spoke to a couple of the other teams and learned a lot about the robots.
When we got back together at each of our houses, we restarted after regionals. We restarted with the basics because we had kind of been in a rush because there wasn't much time. So we restarted with sensors, gears, and passive attachments. Then afterwards, once we learned more about those, we looked at the bot again, so we did more research to figure out what it is. Then we learned, and then we did change the bots quite a lot. So it went from the forklift design to this design, box bots. And so we mostly kept the strategy, but we changed the bots quite a bit. So we tried out a first box bot, but it was really, really big. Like it could hardly, and it had a huge wobble. So then we started testing motors and doing a bunch of more research. And then we compacted it quite a bit and made a lot of changes.
So with the first bot, we built it on an app called Brickthink, which is a 3D modeling Lego platform where it's made for normal Lego bricks, but there is somewhere we can use the spike parts, so we built the original bots on that. And it took very long.
We then tested the motors and the wheels, and discovered that it was being inconsistent. So then we redesigned the bot to make it the pages time 3000. This bot is now much more consistent and doesn't wobble. Then we had to redo the strategy. The strategy is that you do as many missions as possible with the same attachment that works well, but they also give us the most points. And then we move on to we move on and we make different attachments for the small, the ones that give us less points. Therefore, we make passive attachments. They don't use much, so it's easy to click on and click off without having to worry about how the motor fits in. So we each coded our own missions, so it was easier because we were at 2 different houses. So we each had a table and maps in our house and coded some missions. So these are my passive attachments for my mission. So this one, I did the solid operation. So this bit pushes the lever to push the ship up, and this bit
And I also see that you guys have a lot of passive attachments, which is a good thing. But in terms of time, will that not consume your time in changing them?
We've made them as easy to slip on and slip off as possible. So, for example, with this one of mine, one of the bigger issues is the connect plates getting stuck and not being able to predict where they'll come out. So, with this, we've added these. So it sits like this. It doesn't come out the other side, and it can just clip on and clip off like this. And we've designed all our attachments to be as easy off and put on as possible. This one, motorized attachment, it's got a frame on the bottom with 2 clips. And
it's been nice to have on for most of the run. We only attach it until the very last.
Yes. Okay. So the only thing now, good robot and good presentation, all the information is there, but now you need to check your time. Maybe filter out information that takes away from us learning about the robot. If you want to talk about how you got to this point, it can be 3 sentences, maybe, or 30 seconds of your time off. Yeah, don't give too much of your 5 minutes to the process. We need to understand the robot and the mission and the strategy. I like that you showed how easily your attachments come off. I think that would have been nice to show. But yeah, I think how you section that. I think you guys have got good information. It's just how you present the information. Time yourself. I think you may have gone over 5 minutes. I think
borderline.
Yeah. You may have gone over time, and remember there's still a question and answer session. We don't want the judges to rush you out of the room because they want to deliberate and get the next team in. So I think with this time this, do the whole thing because I know the nerves factored in as well. But when you practice maybe together, have somebody turn on the timer and see how you are keeping, and then decide when 5 minutes stops, right? Just stop speaking and see how much you didn't cover. And then you'll know what to take out in the beginning. I think that's the best way to filter out.
Also, what you can do, guys, you can split yourself. You've got 2 parts of your presentation, right? You've got parts of your innovation and parts of your report. So in terms of splitting, it doesn't mean that the rest of the team doesn't know what's happening in the innovation project, and then the rest doesn't know what's happening on the report. It's a better off you are trying to utilize your time. So you know that you can then split it into 2, and then these ones they will focus on the innovation so that they can touch every important detail in time. As well as, and then we can then open it up in terms of questioning. That you all know whoever is being asked, because the judges must want to ask those that need the innovation about a robot presentation, which means you guys work as a team, so which means that information is shared across. But not everyone is meant to present. In the fact that you need to save time, so you can just split yourselves into, okay, you will be doing the innovation, you will be doing the robot. But back in your mind, everyone understands what is happening, so that in terms of questioning, anyone can answer.
I agree with that. Because we need to remember the strategy isn't limited to the table. It's not just about the order in which you do the missions, it's also about how you are going to execute this presentation, play to your strengths. Whoever feels more comfortable presenting on the innovation project, group yourselves and then do that and do it well. It's about efficiency and it is strategy. Those who are strong on innovation, okay, you guys are all acting, but let's allocate the speakers maybe in a way that it makes sense, and then those who are very comfortable with the robot, let them present the robot. But like Sia said, everyone should be able to answer a question, and they're going to see the teamwork when a question is asked and maybe someone who didn't present the innovation project gives the answer. There's lots of ways to bring the teamwork across. You guys, like you said, you have a unique situation where the team is split. So you need to show that you use that to your strength and it didn't create chaos either way, because now everything is so fragmented. Maybe those of you who are staying together should decide, flip a coin and see who does what. But then each of you are responsible to doing justice to your section, because you are still representing the whole team. So just because you're covering different things doesn't make you less of a team, it just makes you more of a strategic team.
And you guys are actually in luck because coach has been recording the whole thing, so you do have a time of representation. So you guys can actually go watch the video and then time it from there.
Yeah.
And then look at that. Okay. What I feel, because of how you guys presented it, there might be a bit of fragment because it's my attachment, my attachment. Because you guys had two robots, but you brought it together to make it one, say our. Use the word our attachments. Our attachment is meant for this mission, this mission, this mission, this mission. Even if the individuals are presenting, you guys can actually even present someone else's attachment, but it's our. You guys are a team, right? Okay. So yeah, but other than that, I'm happy to see that you guys have the robot. Happy to see that you guys have worked so much on your attachments, like there are many attachments. But yeah, I think that's all the feedback I have from the core value side, especially with them. And then maybe as well, probably don't emphasize too much on having to work separately. Just show that you guys are a team, minus the circumstances that you guys are living apart, but you guys are like one big team. Right? Yeah. Anything else, Joe?
Okay, let's just take a break, and then after the break we'll go straight to the robot game.
Thank you, guys.